Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the podcast. Name's still
Yes.
pending. I haven't thought of a name yet, but I'm Hezru,
I'm
and
Lin.
sorry.
Yeah, why you cut me off,
Go
hey?
ahead.
I am Lunmie.
And we have
I do the
Luby.
streams. Mostly do the streams. Sometimes I do YouTube, but mostly streams on Twitch.
Yeah, so we have Lunmie back. Uh,
Yeah, brother, sister.
brother, sister.
In case that wasn't clear before.
Yep. So I know last time it was kind of chaotic, to say the least.
Still
So
chaotic.
it is still chaotic. Hopefully a little less chaotic, maybe. So
Maybe.
maybe. Uh, I kind of came up with some sort of plan this time. Because last
Yeah,
time,
your plan, which is just
what?
one topic, and
Hey, I mean, last time we didn't even have a topic. Last time it was turn on the mic and talk. So I say this is an improvement.
this time it is think for 5 minutes ahead of time and then talk.
I I thought more than 5 minutes ahead of time.
Oh, okay, I didn't.
Wow. um, yeah. So okay, let's try to have a topic this time because I feel like last time we were just like talk about a bunch of random stuff. Also, we were streaming last time, which we're
Mm.
not doing this time. So hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully that doesn't disappoint anyone. I don't know. Uh, I mean, it's open for discussion whether we want to stream this or not. But we're just trying it out, recording, not streaming. Um, so yeah, today I figured we could talk about games, seeing as how you are you're a variety streamer, right? Technically.
You say games, like video games specifically, or did you also want to talk about other games?
I think any kind of games. But I figured this is
Uh,
somewhat related to what you do, right?
yeah, I guess. I mean, we both play a lot of games, so yeah, just in general, it's something that we've both done. We've both played games for since childhood, I guess.
Yeah.
How old are you when you started playing video games?
Um, video games? Like a
Yeah.
console? Ooh,
Yeah.
hmm. I'm gonna say like six, maybe.
Wow, that is pretty young. Huh.
6 or 7. Pretty much as long as I can remember, I've been around games.
Yeah, same.
Which,
Funny though, for me, it was I watched you play video games a lot before I actually played myself, so.
oh, okay. I was gonna say which I don't know if that's really that bizarre to younger people nowadays, because I feel like everyone grows up around games now. uh,
True. It's very interesting how it's changed.
yeah. But but you play games, I play games, right? We're talking about video games, computer games. Uh,
Yeah.
you stream your games, playthroughs. I don't even know. Are they considered
Yeah,
playthroughs?
playthroughs, let's plays, I guess. I,
Let's
I don't
plays?
actually know what's the difference between I don't know if there's something that defines let's
Oh,
plays. Like I guess let's plays are supposed I guess it would be what if someone plays it for the first time, I suppose, or
oh,
something
is
like that.
that what I just kind of used it like synonymously. Like I thought it was the
Yeah,
same thing.
I guess.
Well, anyways,
Well,
you stream
yeah,
gameplay, right?
yes.
Um,
I play
and
games and people watch for whatever reason.
yeah, and I have a couple of Let's Play videos on my channel.
Yeah, couple of incomplete let's plays.
Yeah. Um, so we're familiar with the whole playing games, showing people us playing games. um,
Sure, yes.
so I figured we could talk about just games in general a little bit. But to your point
Mm.
before, games is a very broad term, right?
Hmm.
There's computer games, video games. And you got
Board games.
board games, which I don't. Do you like board games?
I don't know. I mean, because I played a lot of board games when I was little. But you know what's funny when I think about it? A lot of times I played board games myself. It's just like
What?
I would play like
Like you play
multiple.
by yourself?
Yeah, like it was Monopoly. I would just have the different like pieces and also different like stacks of money, and I would just play by myself because I didn't have anyone to play with.
Huh.
Well, I mean, sometimes played with you or mom and dad,
I was gonna
but
say, like,
uh,
well, you could play with me.
yeah, but sometimes I think at some point, you guys started to get busier. Like you started to go from middle school to high school, so you got busier.
How
And
come I don't? Why do I
um,
feel like I don't remember seeing you playing by yourself? Okay,
I I did play by
interesting.
myself a lot because well, I mean, we have a pretty significant age gap, so like
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of times I was playing by myself.
But do you play board games now? Because like I feel like board games have gotten a lot of popularity in recent years.
Yeah, I've always wanted. I feel like I like the idea of playing board games, but I don't know if I actually like playing board games because throughout college, I had some opportunities to play with people, and it was kind of fun.
Yeah.
But I think a big part for me is like I need to be pretty friendly with like everyone in the group because I played board games with like a mix of like friends and then like people that I don't really know, and I just
Yeah.
like it's fun, but like I think it'd be more fun if I was actually playing with um like good friends or something.
Yeah. I could see that. I think I feel the same way. Like playing board games with people I'm not like real close with or I don't know really well can sometimes be a little weird. I guess it depends on a game too. Because
Yeah.
there's like party games, which I think
Hmm.
are they're okay because it kind of just feels like you're playing an icebreaker kind of thing.
Hmm.
So that doesn't feel as weird when you're just playing with people you don't know. But
Yeah.
but it's like when you play like more intense board games or more strategic board games or whatever, it feels weird like to me at least playing with people I don't know well.
Yeah. It's also the group of people we play with because sometimes you might have a number of friends, but if they're not all like in one cohesive group,
Yeah,
then it's also especially for like if we're especially for like tabletop kind of games or like RPG tabletop games and stuff like that.
yeah. I guess the better term now is tabletop, right? Because like I feel like it's evolved to like not all these games are have a board technically.
It's true. Yeah,
So
it's
it's
a large umbrella category of tabletop
tabletop,
games.
yeah. Okay. So out of these, I mean, can you think of any other type of games? Like category, like we have video games, computer games, board game, tabletop games.
I don't know, that's what comes to mind for me
I guess
personally.
sports, if you stretch it, it's technically a game. But
Yes.
I feel like
Tiring games.
that
I'm potato. Sports,
potato
what is it?
potato no play
Ball?
sport.
No, I lie down.
Potato is a ball.
I
Yeah, I guess. All right, we'll consider sports outside the scope of this discussion then.
mean, we were gonna focus on video games anyway. Sorry, I brought in board games, but
No, I mean board games. I think is perfectly valid category.
well, you play a lot of board games, so
I do, but like to your point about like it's not really a solo activity. Board games or
yeah.
tabletop games. Whereas video games and computer games, there's plenty of one-player games. I guess there's a
Mhm.
few tabletop games that are single player. There's
Wait, are
not.
there?
Yeah, I think there are. I think there's tabletop games where it's like you. there's like single player mode that you can technically play through. But those are not very common.
Interesting.
But yeah, I think the social nature of tabletop games limits how much I play it because I'm not that social.
Yeah, that's how I am
But
also.
but I do like the games. Like I enjoy playing tabletop games with my friends.
Hmm.
A little hard now with the whole pandemic thing.
That's true. I mean, nowadays, that's the beauty of video games, because now there are, just like Tabletop Simulator and
Right.
just a couple of tabletop games that are actually, they have online versions and whatnot.
Yeah. Tabletop Simulator is pretty cool. I like
Mm.
I like every time when I'm in it and people are trying to flip tables.
Can you actually?
Yeah.
Oh, I've actually never tried it, so I've never
Oh,
really played.
I mean it destroys everything. Although I think the host can technically like
Just gonna nail down the table to the ground.
yeah, that well they can disable it and I think they can also like undo that
Oh, okay.
undo the carnage.
That's nice. Easy magic of digital.
Yeah, you flip a table in real life, that game's over. I've
Uh,
never flipped a table in real life. I kind of want to try that. Flip a table in real life.
like a real solid one, or just like a flimsy like fold table or
It's a good question.
a glass table.
I'm a glass. That's how you get hurt.
Well,
ah,
not unless you throw it far away.
I want to flip a table, not throw a table.
Same
I feel like
difference.
it would
Flipping is
start
just short distance throwing.
short distance throwing. I feel like it would start with a flimsy one. You know, you gotta level up.
Why does it sound like a sport now? That's just flipping table is a sport.
You gotta
It's like flip cup, except you flip a table.
you gotta progress through the different types of tables until you can safely do it.
Uh-huh.
So maybe I would just start with like a small plastic one or like a kiddie table. Flip one of those, and then
I'm just thinking about how you really should name your podcast. What was it that you wanted? Ramblings of a Peanut Brain? Because why are we talking
yeah.
about flipping tables now?
What? I mean, it's. I mean, have you ever flipped a table? This is just something
You said we're talking about video games.
we are. I mean, okay, this is a game. Flipping tables can be a game.
All right.
Anyways,
Anyway, what are we talking about?
I don't remember. Uh oh, it's tabletop simulator. Right. So yeah, that's also cool, right? Like the whole it's like bridging the gap between computer games and tabletop games. Um, so what do you out of like let's say video games, computer games, tabletop games? What is your go-to, like preferred
Probably
type?
computer games.
Yeah,
Man.
I think so too, for me. It just feels like
Yeah.
computer games are so versatile. Like there's so many different types of computer games.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Something that I've also just gotten used to just from early on. Like even just playing like back then was a little playing computer games like freaking what's the what's the call, like a read a rabbit or something like that kind of.
What?
You don't know what I'm talking about?
What are you reader
There's
rat?
Yeah, it was like a computer game. I think it's called read a rabbit, but they're like educational computer games.
Oh, okay.
You probably didn't have, maybe you didn't have that when you're little, but I
Reader
had that.
rabbit.
But even
I mean, it's
like
my
we would even have it at school,
yeah. I mean, yeah. There's all those educational games, and
like
I'll
Math Blaster
probably
or
reveal
something.
my age a little here. But if I think of there's like math munchers.
Math Munchers. Okay, I
Yeah.
know there's Math Blaster. I don't know about Math. What do you do? Chew on the numbers?
So you were in math munchers. You're this little like stick figure munching creature,
Fuck.
and Oh, I don't even remember what the gameplay is. I just remember you're like eating numbers.
Okay.
Oh, I think there were like math problems maybe, and then you had to go eat the right number. There's like
I
a
mean, I guess
grid.
that would make sense because it's mostly math, but
I think there was a grid. I actually
interesting.
don't really remember. I just remember this really like derpy looking stick figure thing, and it eats numbers.
Mm,
So there's that. But yeah,
yeah. What is some of your first video game, I don't know, memories or first video games you played?
well, so the
Other
first,
other than these educational ones, supposedly.
yeah, yeah. So interestingly, the educational ones were all on computer.
Hmm.
Uh, the first console I had was Sega Genesis.
Which we still have actually. Funny enough.
Yeah, it's in a
Does that
box somewhere.
still work?
I don't know.
Hmm. Anyway.
Um, and I actually didn't buy that, or my parents didn't buy that for me. It was from our uncle.
Hmm.
And the only reason he gave it to me, I think, was because he bought a PS1.
He
That
upgraded.
Yeah, and he was just like, well, I don't need this Sega Genesis anymore. I got next gen stuff, and he gave me the Sega Genesis.
Wait, then was the PS1 that we have also from him, or
No, I got the PS1. I
oh,
think it was a reward for having good grades. Cause
oh, well, that's pretty damn nice.
I think, if I'm remembering correctly,
Yo, do you remember how much did PS1 cost back then?
back then, I don't
Yeah.
know. I was a kid. I was just like,
Oh,
I had no concept of how much things cost.
you didn't bother asking at all. Okay,
I mean,
interesting.
maybe
I should look it up
I
later.
feel like I was the type of kid who did not pay attention to money, which maybe just shows a sense of privilege that I have. But I I don't think I thought about money until I was maybe junior high. I don't know. At some point, it was like I was trying to buy. I started wanting to buy my own stuff, toys. I think that's when I started thinking about money.
Yeah.
But PS1, I was still pretty young when
Mm-hmm.
I got a PS1, so I don't know if I. Okay, I guess even if I did think about it, I can't remember now, like the cost of it. So,
Oh wait, so your first console was Sega Genesis. What was the first game you played?
uh, I don't. So here's the thing. I don't know exactly which game I played first,
Well, okay, I
because
mean,
I
list
got
a
it
few.
with like a bunch of games, right? Because it was
Uh-huh.
like a hand-me-down console.
Hmm.
But I do remember. So I do remember the games I played were the original, like Sonic the Hedgehog.
Hmm.
I played. There's like a Michael Jackson Moonwalker game.
Think I remember that one,
It's a
like
very
vaguely. I think
it's
I
a
remember
very
the cover or something.
bizarre game. I don't know why I played that so much. Probably just because of the music. But like
That's funny.
the concept of the game is kind of bizarre. Like you're literally going around as Michael Jackson and opening closet doors to save little girls who have apparently been kidnapped.
Huh.
And
That's
yeah. And I still remember like you'd open a door and then a little girl would be like, "Thank you, Michael," and then like they just like walk away, and then you're just like, "I'm gonna keep dancing down this hallway."
uh okay,
It
interesting.
was an interesting game. Uh,
Yeah, there aren't games like that nowadays. I feel like
it was
there's
it was
so many
basically a
weird games
it was
for PS1 and
basically
PS2 era.
oh yeah,
Oh, that was also Sega Genesis, I guess.
it was basically like a platformer as Michael Jackson.
Hmm.
Interesting. There's that. Oh man, there was a oh like the first my first exposure to any sort of RTS, real time strategy game for people that don't know, was on Sega Genesis actually, not on PC. Usually you think
Oh,
of RTS, you think of PC.
yeah, I do.
Uh, but there's a game called I might be butchering the pronunciation because I don't think it's English. Erzog Zui or something like that.
Interesting.
Uh, but it was really cool. Like, so you're like a jet plane that can like transform into like this mech.
Like Transformers?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
And then you have
interesting.
like bases. So it's like one on one, and you both start with like a main base, and then you can build units, and you want to capture like other bases on the map, and that generates like more income for you the more bases you have, and you can keep making more units.
Huh, interesting.
Uh, and I love the music in it, but I sucked at that game. I was so bad at that game. I mean, I was also really young, so like I feel like I couldn't understand RTS. I mean, I still can't play RTS now. I feel like, but that,
So these are the first couple of games you played that left an impression on you then?
yeah, I mean, these are the games that would play a lot. There's that. Oh, what else was there? There was this one ninja game, and I can't remember what it was called.
Was it also a platformer? I'm kind of curious now. What kind of like
Yeah,
genres of games did you were like some of the first or more
yeah.
memorable ones that you had played?
Well, I feel like a lot of games back then were platformers.
Hmm.
The ninja game was a platformer.
Hmm.
Uh, man, what was it called? This is gonna bug me now.
Oh, great!
But
Now
it
we're gonna be here forever.
but it had this mechanic where you have like this white wolf or something like that, or maybe it was a dog. I thought it was a wolf. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Well, as a kid, you probably pretended it was a wolf because it's cooler.
Yeah, and you could like sick them on enemies. Like so, you would like hold down a button, charge it up, and he would just go charging forward and like attack an enemy.
Nice.
That was really cool. Uh,
Interesting.
what else was there? Oh, I had a baseball game. I guess that was his first sports video game that I played.
Oh, your first sports video game was baseball?
Oh well, okay, wait. There was baseball and football. There was
Interesting.
like
I would have thought it
Madden.
would basketball or something.
Oh wait, there was basketball also. But okay, I didn't get the basketball game until later. I distinctly remember buying the basketball game from what was that store called? This was like a game store. This was before GameStop.
Was this on PS1 or?
This is like called Funko Games or something like that.
Oh, that sounds familiar. I don't know, maybe.
It was a store. It was basically like GameStop, but this is like old like cartridge games back in the day.
Hmm.
But I specifically remember going to that store and buying the basketball game called NBA Jam.
So this was all on Sega?
Yeah, this is on Sega Genesis.
Oh, okay.
And NBA Jam was my jam. I freaking love that game.
Is it your Space Jam?
Yeah,
Anyway, yeah.
I don't.
That's interesting that those are your first games, a lot of them being platformers and stuff like that. Because I think a lot of
Yeah.
my first games that left an impression on me
Hmm.
were RPGs or like story-driven games or
Hmm.
well, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I have vague memories of like a Hello Kitty game, I think, that might have been a platformer.
Whoa, what?
And
I don't remember
yeah,
that.
I swear to God, it was a Hello Kitty game. And then
On PC or on
no,
console?
I think it was console. I think so. Yeah, I think I remember seeing it like
What?
hooked up to TV, but I don't remember if it was probably PlayStation 1 because I didn't touch Sega Genesis at all. It was
What was
probably PlayStation 1.
what was your first exposure to was it PlayStation 1? Was that your first memory of
I think so. I mean, I may have well, so for a long time I was watching you play video games. So I don't know if I remember I may have seen you play Sega Genesis a few times. I don't know, but the biggest
I don't,
most for the most part I remember seeing you play like PS1 games.
I feel like you wouldn't be old enough to remember me playing Sega Genesis.
Maybe not. I mean, unless you like booted it up later on for whatever reason.
Maybe.
There's definitely by the time I have memory, it was already like PS1 was around, I think.
Yeah. Well, PS1 was
Uh,
already around when I got the Sega Genesis.
Yeah, yeah. So
So
I some of the games I remember the most is like I think I remember seeing you play a lot of Crash
yeah,
and
Crash Bandicoot.
yeah, and the Dragon Ball, probably Dragon Ball Z fighting games.
What? On PlayStation 1?
I think so.
Oh, I had like a. You talking about that Japanese one?
Maybe. I don't know.
Because
Something like that.
because I had a modded PS1, so I could play games from different regions.
Ah, okay. Yeah, probably. Something like that. And you know what's funny? Top Shop. You
Oh
remember
yeah,
Top
I
Shop?
remember Top Shot.
Yeah, I still want to play that now.
That game's pretty fun actually. For
So I
anyone
guess
that doesn't know, Top Shop is like a Japanese Monopoly on
yeah.
like console.
Yeah. Because the premise is like there's a basically it's like there's a mall and you can go around buying up
Yeah,
shops within the mall
you're
and
buying
like
like
set up your own shop and
storefronts.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like you get bonuses if they're next to each other, and then like if people land in your shop, they have to buy stuff. The interesting mechanic I think is like uh how you have to stock your store.
Hmm. That
That's
was a fun
pretty
game.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
So yeah, it's interesting how some of the first games that I was exposed to is quite different from yours. Because I
Yeah.
didn't really pay attention to platformers at all back then.
Hmm.
And this is, man, I was really little now that I think about it, right? I would have been like 5 years old or less than that. Because like I remember all of like
PlayStation.
I remember when we got PS2, I remember when we got GameCube and all those games as well.
Yeah. Well, I feel like you didn't really get into gaming until PS2, I think,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. In terms of me playing video games,
Yeah.
yeah.
I feel like you were just kind of watching it before that.
Hmm. I still remember. Well, this I was probably a little bit older, but I still remember like some of the GameCube games as well. Um, I've mentioned this many times. I was terrified of Resident Evil for the longest time because my very first time I saw like any of the game was the GameCube one. I don't know if you remember this. The GameCube one, which has Jill and Chris, I guess, and it's that scene where you walk down a hallway
Mm.
and there's like a cutscene of a zombie eating a person. I remember
Uh,
seeing that. I was very little when I saw that. I
oh,
was just like,
that's
holy shit.
yeah. It's probably not
And
a
then I,
great game for a little kid to see.
so funny. I stayed away from the Resident Evil franchise until like the past few years, I think. Uh,
I didn't play that game all that much.
yeah, you did it.
I'm not big on horror games.
Funny how that I still remember that cutscene. I don't know why.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah,
Um,
how many games do we have in GameCube?
we had a good amount, I think.
It's weird how yeah, we don't I feel like GameCube is a
Well,
console that gets forgotten. I don't really hear people
well,
talk about it.
I mean, there's Super Smash. That was huge.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
there's
we
people
played
who
Super Smash a lot.
still play. Uh, what is that? Is that Melee or is that?
Yeah, Melee.
There's people who still play that because they think it's like a better version of Smash.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is like people remember Melee, but like
Yeah.
GameCube and it's like what other games were there?
Well, I mean, they had all the other, your standard sports games, and then they had, yeah, actually, what did they have?
See, you know what I'm talking about? Because it's like PlayStation. For me, the biggest stuff I associated with
What did
PlayStation
I
was like
own?
Final Fantasy and stuff, like Square Enix
Yeah.
and PlayStation, right? I associate that together. And like for Xbox was like I don't know FPS games, I guess, or I we didn't have Xbox, so I'm not
Uh,
entirely sure. But I feel like GameCube, the console GameCube, always gets like left out of people talking about like back in the day played whatever.
what the heck did I play on GameCube?
You know what I do remember? I do remember this like fantasy. I think it was an RPG where you pick like a hero or something, and I don't remember if it's roguelike or not, but you select character and you go into like maps and you fight things and you collect stuff and you fight a boss at the end of the level, and then it's like the stuff you collected gets saved, and then you go to like the next maps or
Wait,
whatever. You know what I'm talking about?
Gauntlet Legends?
Is that what it is? I completely forgot the title of it.
Yeah, I think it was Gauntlet Legends. Like
That's
you have
hilarious. I
four
remember we played
people.
that. Yeah,
There's like classes.
yeah, I think so.
You're like red, green, blue, yellow.
Yeah, I think so. I remember playing that with you.
Yeah, now that I'm remembering, I feel like I played that a lot with people.
See, yeah, the only game I remember is that and Melee. Well, GameCube's Nintendo,
Uh,
right? So, like, what?
there was
I guess the
also
typical Nintendo games.
there was also there was this like James Bond game. What was it called?
Oh, I think I remember you playing those. Did you play more than one though, or is there just one?
I think I only had one.
Oh, okay,
I forgot what it was called.
very interesting.
But I remember playing the deathmatch mode with people. We're
hmm
just on a map and you're just trying to kill each other.
hmm Man, trying to think through all these consoles that we played through.
Yeah, I mean, so for me, it was like Sega Genesis, PS1, PS2 slash GameCube, and then like somewhere around that time, I started transitioning to more PC games.
Yeah,
The era of PC games, for me at least, started around that. And there was
I'm
like,
getting. I'm like thinking back on all these memories now. Like, whoa,
and then
whoa.
PC for me, uh, kind of started off with like Age of Empires 2, uh, Heroes of Might and Magic 2, Star Wars,
I played a lot of the games. Wait,
or
Star
Star
Wars?
Wars. What the hell am I saying?
The fuck are you? I was like, wait, what's this one? Back then?
Star.
StarCraft?
Actually, there were Star Wars
Were
games,
there? I didn't know about them.
but
StarCraft too?
StarCraft. That's what I mean.
Yeah. I was like,
Star Wars. There's like the old Battlefront game. Was that PS2?
I don't know.
Some I can't remember.
I also remember watching
StarCraft.
you play those PC games because I also played Age of Empires as well as um blank it out. Heroes of Might and Magic.
You know what? Like I still want to play Heroes of Might and Magic to this day.
Yeah, I think it's still a good game.
It's such a I don't know. It's such a fun game to me. I don't know why.
I think so too.
And I don't enjoy the later versions. Like 3, 4, 5. I don't really like them.
I never tried them.
Like for some reason Heroes of Might and Magic 2 is like still the best version to me.
hmm
Because I feel like they I feel like this is true for certain games. Like uh there's a certain like genius around the simplicity of things sometimes.
Yeah.
And I feel like sequels come out sometimes where they're like, "Oh, we gotta one up what we did before," and they just like keep adding all these complexities to it.
All these new features.
Yeah, and it's like sometimes I don't want this feature.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
Yeah. I feel like that reminds me of Sims, the Sims series. Actually, like that. I remember playing a little bit of the first Sims,
Oh yeah.
and Sims 2 though. I played a lot of Sims 2, and I think a lot of people who play Sims actually also agree that Sims 2 is like probably one of their favorites still.
Yeah, it's interesting how like even for let's see, like sports games,
hmm
like for football, Madden, I think
hmm
from what I gather on the internet, like people still prefer like Madden 2008 the most.
Very interesting.
Like current rosters aside, like just the gameplay of it and the design of the game.
Mm.
So yeah, it's interesting how sometimes game franchises get stuck, like they they can't make anything better than a certain iteration.
Yeah, I mean, I think uh, for certain games, certain franchises, I don't know, certain companies, I suppose, that they kind of start to turn into doing it for the profit, and it's like, what can we get away with, and they don't actually
Yeah,
want to invest in the time and resource to make a game that might be better if they can just, make a decent profit off of what they can get away with.
yeah. I mean, it's a crazy industry, the game industry. Like it's super competitive.
Hmm.
Like people, like the big name companies are just trying to pump out like giant blockbuster games as fast as they can.
Yeah.
Um, and it's also so saturated now. Like how, there's so many games. Like
Yeah, there is.
just like open
It's
Steam.
insane.
For anyone who plays games right on computers, they know. Like you go on Steam, there's so many games. I think I have
Hmm.
like 200 plus games in my Steam library that I own. I I haven't even like played some of them.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. There's so many games now, and then there's like indie games.
Oh
Um,
yeah. Indie
there's
games.
so many of those.
Ones.
I feel like there was such a boom of like people wanting to make their own games, and I feel like
Hmm.
I was kind of swept up in that personally. Like
Hmm.
I wanted to make my own game.
Yeah.
Uh, but
I mean, I think I even thought about it a little bit. Well, but I wasn't really into coding or programming, so
yeah,
the
but I
only thing
mean,
I would have been able to do is design story, maybe.
yeah, there's so much to making a game. Like
Hmm.
when I actually started looking into like how do I make a game, there's like so many things you got to pay attention to.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. So all these games, I feel like we've touched on a lot of different games so far. What is your favorite genre of game now?
Aha.
Because there's like if we just list a few, right?
Hmm.
There's like RPGs,
Hmm.
there's simulation,
Yep.
there's sports, there's
Shooters, FPSs,
shooters, yeah,
stuff like that.
FPS, there's real-time strategy, RTS,
Turn-based strategy,
turn-based strategy. I mean, you could
platformers.
start getting yeah, platformers, uh, hack and slash. Like you could start getting into very nitty-gritty details on categories, but what is your currently what is your favorite type of game?
Man, do I have to pick one?
Well, that's the definition of favorite.
God damn it. But I'm indecisive.
uh okay, how about
Well,
this?
and also some genres overlap, so
Sure. Okay, well, how about three? Three genres you enjoy. Top three.
top three genres. Hmm, probably hack and slash. Uh, yeah, I want to say RPG. Can I say story driven? Does that count as a genre?
It's not just RPG.
Yeah, well, I guess it would be RPG.
Well, I guess
RPG is pretty
RPGs are usually
general.
story driven, right? Now
Usually,
I'm trying to think of an RPG that's not story driven.
yeah,
Because the role play kind of
role play,
implies there's a story.
right? Or at least they're strong characters. So yeah, okay, RPG,
I
hack and
guess
slash RPG,
okay, hack and slash
which
RPG.
actually often go together. So I don't know. And
Not always.
I guess simulation
Simulation.
games.
Those all have a
Yeah,
lot of crossover, I feel like.
yeah. There's definitely potential crossover
Like
between both of those
RPG
three.
simulation is also sort of a thing.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean, I consider sports games like career modes and sport games basically like RPG simulation.
Oh, okay,
Like
okay. Yeah,
you're
I guess.
role playing an athlete in a simulated real world.
Yeah. Well, are we gonna list off actual game titles? Well, I guess we already did, huh? Some old ones.
I mean, I mean, we've already talked about a bunch. But my question was like, what type, like genres, though?
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, because like if you know my favorite games, then it's like, you can tell like which are our favorite genres. But yeah.
Yeah.
What are your favorite genres?
Um. So in recent years, simulation has been huge for me, just because I
Hmm.
like how chill it is.
Yeah.
Like I can just sit there.
When you become an adult and you get tired of life, like those chill
I c-
simulation games are so nice now.
it's just really nice to just kind of like disconnect
Nice to have
from.
a farm.
Yeah, you know,
It's nice to have a little farm,
it's
to water your nice
it's
pretty
nice
little
to. I've
plants.
literally, speaking of
You get
farm,
a
I've
sheep.
literally played Farming Simulator, and it's like the hardest game ever.
Oh, that's not a relaxing game.
Uh, I mean,
I guess there are relaxing simulations and then there's like
it's
intensive
hard.
simulations.
I mean, it's hard, but it's also like it's fairly relaxing.
Oh, okay.
Although I guess it was a steep learning curve because I don't know anything about farming, and it Farming Simulator
Hmm.
is like, as far as I can tell, very realistic in terms of like all the little steps you have to take to
Very in
farm.
depth.
Yeah, it's in depth. That's the word I should be looking for. In depth.
Yeah.
I'm sure that there's probably some farmer out there who plays games and they're just like, I don't know what you're talking about. This game's not realistic at all. Because I don't know anything about farming. Like
Hmm.
my concept of farming is like you plant things. My concept of farming is basically Minecraft. You plant things and they grow. So Farming Simulator was just like, holy crap, how the hell do I do this?
Do you have
But
a favorite simulation game?
oh, well, I was gonna
Or
list off
sorry,
some
go
more
on.
genres.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, we were talking. Yeah, go on, go on.
Yeah,
You listed
I
earlier.
get three. You had your top three. I get my
I
three.
forgot about. I got off topic.
Yeah, who's rambling now?
Still you.
What?
Fool.
Rude. Um, yeah, it's a simulation, sports. I really like sports games. I don't think I'll ever get tired of sports games.
Freaking, you like sports games so much that the one thing you play in Final Fantasy is Blitzball. Yeah.
Yeah, Blitzball should
You played
be
a sports game within the other games.
Blitzball should be its own game.
Oh man.
uh, and then I don't know what's my third one. I guess RPG question mark. I say RPG, but then I'm trying to think like I don't really play RPGs that much. I feel like that's a genre that I would like to play more.
Wait, you don't? Don't you?
Well,
Well,
what
I
do I
guess maybe
play
not as much
nowadays?
now.
Yeah,
Yeah, not as much now. Back then you did more.
so I feel like part of it is like just being an adult. Like,
Yeah.
um, I'm not saying that you can't adults shouldn't play those games. I'm saying like time wise, like time management, uh, the commitment needed to play RPGs, like play through a whole story in a game, uh, sometimes is more than I'm able to commit.
And depending on the game, sometimes it's actually even like a bit of emotional or like mental investment as well.
Yeah. So
Because
like,
you're like, especially if you're trying to pay attention to the story and trying to
right.
figure things out while you're playing.
Because the thing about simulation and sports games, right, is like I can just get in, play a little bit, get out whenever. Like, there's no sort of hook to keep me. There's nothing that makes me feel like I have to play for this much time. Like I can go in and out of simulation and sports games like as much as I want.
Hmm.
So I feel like that flexibility lends itself well to my current life. Uh, but back then, when I was, I guess, a student and I should have been studying, but I was playing games. Um, I didn't care all that much, so I was just playing games all the time. So I would play RPGs because I'd just binge it like crazy.
And yet you never finished them.
Okay, you know what?
You know, we joke about Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts. Did you actually ever finish any other RPG games? Because you played a lot, quite a few.
Yeah, I mean, this is a personal problem I have. uh, yeah, I'm not very good at finishing games.
It was kind of funny that you at some point you did like playing RPGs, but you never went through any of
Well,
them.
like, okay, so I don't know what it is. I guess I get distracted by other stuff. I just don't finish games.
Wow.
Like, there's so many games I wanted to finish,
Hmm.
and I never got around to finishing it. And I feel like the thing with okay, I feel like the thing with RPG games is like if I don't if I put it down and I don't come back to it for a couple days, I'm just never gonna come back to it
And
because
then when you come back to it, you restart all the way from the beginning,
yeah,
and
because well, okay,
then you know the first like first like 5 hours of
I
a game really well.
I've got yeah, I mean I've got like goldfish brain when it comes to RPG games because if I don't play it consecutively like every day and I take a break and then I come back to it, let's say like 3 days later, I'll be like I don't remember what's happening, and then like
Oh my god.
and then it'll bother me that I don't remember what's happening, and I'll be like, I need to start over.
Ah, Jesus.
And that's part of why I never finish a game because I feel like I have to sit through and binge it like back to back days. And if I
I've
can't do
seen.
that, I just keep restarting the game.
Yeah, I've seen you restart many games.
Yeah,
It's quite frustrating.
right. Which is why I kind of saying I'm saying I don't really play RPGs that much anymore because I know I I don't have the time to play back to back, and I know that's just going to result in me not finishing it. So then I just don't even bother starting it.
Interesting how so for you the lengthy RPGs, the really long story-driven games that have become more and more popular,
Yeah.
those are actually not good for you because you can't stay focused for that long. You actually need shorter RPGs.
Yeah, in
Kind of
a
interesting.
way. And and this is interesting to tie it back to what we were saying in the beginning about Let's Plays and playthroughs. This is kind of why I like Let's Plays and playthroughs, because now it's like there's games that I don't want to commit to playing through, but I really like the concept of and I'm curious about, especially like story driven ones. I'm like, I want to know what the story is.
Hmm.
So, and I know I don't have the time to play it, or I know I won't be committed enough to play it. So then I just watch videos of people playing it, and I can kind of keep it on the side and multitask and stuff, and then I can see what happens in the game.
Yeah, I feel that with I feel that especially with certain platformer games. I feel like there's a time where maybe like the past couple of years or whatever. Anyway, at some point, there's a lot of story-driven platform games. I don't know if you had caught on to that. It was interesting. Stuff like
Story-driven
Ori and the Blind
platform.
Forest,
Oh, okay.
what like Child of Light, I think was also platforming. Hollow Knight. Although those are kind of what's I forgot what the genre is. Metroidvania? Is that the right term?
I don't
You know
know.
what I'm talking about?
No.
Anyways, all right, whatever. They're the type of games that are platforming but also action, like Castlevania, like some of the Castlevania games.
Okay.
Anyways, so for a time, a lot of those games were you needed to platform, but I suck at platforming. But then I also really want to know what the story was.
Hmm.
So that's an example of a game that I definitely would watch Let's Plays playthroughs of because I cannot get through them.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like yeah, I feel like RPGs are games that I wish I could play now, but I don't play as much. I don't know what I play now. I guess I play, I mean, for a while, I was playing Overwatch for a lot.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
but you know what?
Oh
Like,
my god, the freaking yeah, those PvP games, Overwatch,
yeah,
as well as like the older MOBAs and stuff.
MOBA is its whole genre.
Oh man.
I played I played League. I played so those games. I'm starting to not like those type of games either because those also require a certain level of commitment if you care about winning.
Uh-huh. And you care very much about winning. Is
Yes.
this why you don't like RPGs? Not strong enough feeling of winning?
I mean, beating on AI is not really that exciting.
I like defeating AI, easy to bully.
uh, yeah, I don't know. That's not why I don't like RPGs. Um,
Yeah, no, it's
but
kind of funny.
but like, yeah, I get kind of competitive in those types of games, and then um, I get annoyed that I'm losing. That
I'll
it,
get so angry. Why you have to be mad?
yeah,
It's just a
I
game.
get triggered. Not like I don't know. It's like we've talked about this a lot
Yeah, I
between
don't
me
like
and you.
playing games with you.
Yeah,
I don't like playing competitive games with you.
apparently
Ugh,
I'm not very nice when I get competitive.
annoying.
I feel like I've gotten better at that though over the years.
I don't know, maybe.
I used to be like no filter, like I'm gonna just yell at you. I feel like I've gotten better. You haven't played with me in a competitive game in a while.
Yeah, and I don't plan on doing so.
uh, I'm
I mean,
also
I also just don't like. I personally don't like the competitive games very
yeah.
much,
You don't
anyways.
enjoy PvP playing against other humans.
No, I don't like people that can fight back.
You just want punching bags
This is why I play Sims.
because they can't fight back when you're trying to
Yeah, it's
murder them.
control them. Yeah. Uh, anyway.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. I don't. I feel like I'm not playing those games as much anymore. Like I was playing Overwatch a lot for the last few years,
Hmm.
and I've kind of just gotten sick of it. Part of it is like I've hit my like limits ability wise. Like if I've wanted to get any better, I believe that I can, but the thing is I need to put in the time to get better, and I don't feel like putting in the time to get better.
Yeah.
And so I just feel like then I just rather not play it because playing a game where I feel like I'm losing and I could get better if I spent the time on it to win, it's not fun, you know? That's not fun anymore. And I guess when a game's not fun anymore, what's the point of playing a game?
Yeah, exactly. You're supposed to have fun in a game, so I don't like competitive games.
Well, the fun in competitive games is beating your opponent. That's the fun.
Well, I apologize that I am a loser. I never
Yeah,
beat
stop being a
anyone.
loser. Why do you lose so much?
Uh,
I also
that's
feel
why
like
I play simulation games, make my own rules.
simulation games. Yeah, you're always the winner in a simulation game.
Pretty much. It's funny much how much I don't like PvP competitive games, but then I like story-driven games. So, for instance, Overwatch. I also played Overwatch for a while. Um, Not very long though, because again, I don't like player versus player games.
Mm,
But I really liked like their animated shorts for the characters and
yeah.
the background story for the characters and stuff, and the interactions between characters, just the dialogue. So I always say that like if Overwatch had just straight up a campaign mode or like an RPG mode, like I would play it because I like that kind of game. And I like the characters, but I do not like PvP. I dislike it enough that I just don't I'm not interested in playing Overwatch at all anymore.
So I believe
So I felt with
Overwatch.
League also.
I believe Overwatch 2. is supposed to have either a campaign mode or a PvE mode.
Mhm.
So maybe that would be interesting to you.
Maybe we'll see.
But yeah, I'm kind of just over. I'm over Overwatch. Haha.
You are Overwatch.
I'm not watching it anymore.
You're right, sleeping.
I'm, I'm sleeping, sleepwatch
Overwatch under
under
sleep. I don't
under sleep story of my life.
know.
um, yeah. So I guess nowadays we talk about all these games that we like or genres that we like. Nowadays I'm playing a lot of uh, sports games, simulation games, and then kind of just like whatever friends play, because at the end of the day, sometimes playing games is just spending time with people. So
Do you know I started playing Minecraft with friends.
oh
That
yeah,
is the first time I realize it's the very first time I'm actually playing with friends because I always played solo or I played with you.
yeah.
So yeah, it's been fun. It's nice having games to play with friends.
Minecraft
Also
is
Stardew. I was playing Stardew with friends as well.
yeah. Minecraft is such an interesting game too. We haven't really touched on Minecraft, but like Minecraft was a whole. I feel like it's its own like phenomenon.
Yeah, I think Minecraft really is its own um like it's a game that no one's gonna forget for a long time because it really is significant almost like to a cultural extent, but also as
Yeah,
like the game itself is just it's a very straightforward like just it's a survival game.
yeah,
Everything is a block, everything is interactable. You break things, you build things.
yeah.
Very very much sandbox, not just simulation, but like a sandbox.
And I think what's interesting about Minecraft is it got a lot of people playing it that don't normally play games.
Yeah.
That's another thing that a lot of games don't have that capability, right? A lot of games, their audiences specifically, like they know who their audience is, like what type of gamers they're trying to target. Minecraft was like it's like a game where it's like anyone can play it. Like the bar of entry. Wait, is that the right phrase? Entry. The en. The. What am I trying to say?
Oh, entry level?
The entry level. Is that right? The bar of what? What is the phrase? Whatever.
I don't
It
know.
it was
The skill bar is low, I guess. I don't know.
bar. Am I? Did I say that right? Bar of
I
entry.
don't
That
freaking know.
feels wrong.
Anyways, you don't need to be a skillful
Yeah, yeah,
gamer to pick it up,
yeah.
basically.
Like you don't have to have any experience playing games. You don't need to be good at games. You can just get into Minecraft and start punching trees.
You know what's interesting though? Now that you're saying that, I feel like people that play games since they're little do have an intrinsic kind of we have such a muscle memory because actually if someone has never played games before, you actually would have to explain to them you move by using WASD. You use the left mouse button or right mouse button to do certain things.
Oh yeah,
It's
like the
really interesting.
yeah
Yeah.
the first person movement. If you ever watch
Hmm.
someone who's never played games before try to move in a first person game, they're just like
Or
very
just any game.
unnatural
Yeah.
about it. Like they can't move.
It's yeah, it's very interesting how if you play games since you're little, you kind of recognize that when you go into a game that is first person, maybe third person, like generally you move using WASD, left mouse button is interacting with something.
Yeah.
And then also like if you've played, the top down games, top view, top down.
Mm,
Um, like Age of Empires,
yeah.
right? I played that a lot. And then like when I got into League of Legends, um, you click on your character You
Mm,
select with the left mouse button, move with the right mouse button.
yeah.
Like that's also a thing that I remember one time when I had gotten a friend into League of Legends for the first time. They played some games, but not anything that was structurally anything like League of Legends. So when they were moving, it was really awkward for them. I thought that's also interesting how like there's certain movements, certain muscle memory that gamers just have.
Yeah, I'd
Because you'll
say that's
see
true.
people, right? You'll see like some gamers go into a game that they haven't played before,
Yeah.
and they'll immediately they can move around WASD, and then they're like, okay, how do I interact with things? Click on things,
Which,
press E plus Q, RT, or something like that.
yeah, yeah, you just
So
start
interesting.
hitting all the keys. Yeah, I also think it's funny when you play a tutorial in a game and
Hmm.
it's like use the WASD to move, and
Yeah.
I'm like, look, anyone playing this game probably knows that. Like your target audience is gamers.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know. I guess they gotta put it in a tutorial in case somebody's never played before.
Quite interesting how a lot of games there's like a standard for certain controls
Well,
in
yeah,
games. That's it's a thing that has just simply developed over the years.
yeah. Like I think if you change that up, people would cry like bloody murder. Probably
Interesting
they would probably
how
review bomb the game.
yeah, so interesting how we've grown up with this strange muscle memory of being a gamer.
Yeah. I also like it in games. It's always like flashlight F.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like always. Sometimes it's G, but and then E
Mhm.
for like interact.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's so ingrained into the gamer mind. Real quick, because we never got to it, and I think we're running out of time here. But top three, top three games.
Of course, we have to talk. I like I put it at the end to make sure that I don't go freaking rambling about it. Because
Top
I
three
could
games.
talk forever
Yeah,
about 'em.
yeah.
Top three games of all time, or
Hmm.
like, oh my god,
Top
top three
three.
games.
Just the
Do
top
I have to?
three.
All right. Do I have to talk about? Do I have to say like a specific game title, or can it be franchise?
Could be whatever.
All
Just
right. Well,
list top
I'm gonna
three.
cheat a little bit then. I'm gonna say
All right.
Kingdom Hearts,
Okay.
Devil May Cry.
Okay.
Oh gosh, and then the third one. Man, favorite game of all time. It's really hard to decide.
I like how you're just naming franchises, by the way. Anyways.
Yeah, I mean, fine. I can list specifically for Devil May Cry probably five, the most recent one.
Okay.
Kingdom Hearts, it would be Kingdom Hearts 2.
Okay. And then the
Um,
third.
huh? Oh, third.
So that's
Third one.
yeah.
Gosh, it's hard for me to decide. I want to say Stardew Valley.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, because I think even though I may not be playing that a crap ton,
Hmm.
it still left a pretty big impression on me. So I think those three games are my favorite all time.
Okay.
What about you?
Well, top three of all time. I have to have a sports game in there. And if I go by if I go by playtime, it would actually be probably MLB Road to the Show.
Hmm.
Surprisingly, a baseball game, not a basketball game, even though basketball is my favorite sport. But just as a complete sports game, Road to the Show is so good.
Oh,
Um, and then I gotta have an RPG in there. I feel like.
well, I mean, it doesn't have to be by genre. It's, the games that.
Yeah, I'm trying to have a
Mhm.
well-rounded top three.
Oh, okay, okay.
Um, simulate. Okay, let me just put in because I'm trying to think of playtime and how much I enjoy the game too. I feel like I played Crusader Kings so much.
Oh, yeah, I did too.
Crusader Kings 2.
Yeah, that's a good game.
Um, And then yeah, I don't know, Final Fantasy. I feel like that's so
Just the whole
ingrained.
franchise.
Yeah, but I mean, if I gotta pick one, I'd probably pick eight.
Yeah, okay. How many CDs did you get through in 8? Because there's
Look,
multiple CDs,
I still like it.
right? Okay.
I don't know, either eight or maybe 10. I don't know. I mean,
For Blitzball. Haha, sports game.
yeah, for Blitzball. But Final Fantasy is just such a like if you play games, everyone knows what Final Fantasy is.
Yeah.
I feel like that's my top three if I'm just thinking off the top of my head right now.
Interesting how you went with you were thinking about playtime. Because for me, I think it's kind of I don't know, maybe it's a little bit weird, but I get I don't know if I want to say influence, but video games are pretty big inspiration for me in terms of like I guess writing or like I guess I get really invested in certain video games. So even
Mm,
though there's certain games I don't play a lot, I will be thinking about them a lot or I'll like I'm the type of person who will look up like fan art and stuff like that
yeah.
and think about the games a lot even when I'm not playing. So
Yeah, I guess maybe I
it's
don't
an
know.
interesting
I
difference
was
I
using
think that we
different
have.
criteria. I mean, if you think about it differently, I'd probably come up with a different top three also. But
Yeah.
that's just what I came up with for now.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think we talked about a lot. Talked about a lot of games. Talked about a lot of different things surrounding games. Um, I
Yeah, there's
guess
a lot to talk about because we
yeah,
feel like we could go on, but
we could go on forever, and we could go on into details about specific games and stuff. I don't know. Maybe
yeah.
that's something uh people want to hear. I don't have no idea. If there's anyone
Um,
out there who wants to hear our thoughts on specific games or types of games, I guess let us know.
put it down in the comments below.
Yeah, let us know in the comments if there's a specific game you want us to chat about, because this was kind of just an overview of games.
Hmm.
And also, I'd also like to know what people's top three games are. Throw that in the
Oh,
comments. Yeah,
I would like to read that.
that'd be really interesting, right? See what people's top three games are.
Hmm.
So yeah, thanks for listening to another episode of our podcast. And I'm Hezru. Give us a like and subscribe. I feel so weird saying that because I
Smack
always
that like and
so-
subscribe button and then kick that notification.
beat up beat up that subscriber and like button. I feel like I always see people say that stuff and I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm saying
Hey, do
because
whatever you guys want,
yeah, do whatever you want. Yeah. But thanks for listening, and
We'll
we'll
see
see
you
you.
guys next time.